Hey, boom. Good morning, good morning, good morning, and grand rising. Hey, good morning, and grand rising to each and every one of you. I am Stars Tina, and can you tell I'm super excited to be here with you today? You are in Breakfast with Champions. And if you have not already, let's just start by sharing that room out in the hallways. I am here on Clubhouse feeling supercharged. I was trying to get on Instagram, but the internet's acting wacky. But you can see my face on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. But before we get started, guys, this is the place where you want to be. And can I hear who is BWC Daily? Are you getting those emails every day, or maybe you're getting it once a week? This is a wonderful thing that Ramon has put together to give us all the tips and like a quick wraparound from what everyone shares with us all day long. So if you haven't subscribed yet to BWC Daily, what are you waiting for? All righty, crew, we're at 13 shares. I want to say good morning to Jeff, hi, Dora Maria, Mary Lynn. This is the time where I start saying those, we start sharing the room. And I want to see if we have any brand spanking new people here on Clubhouse. And I do. I see Tadongabo. Good morning, Tobago. Welcome. Forgive me if I botched up your name. Happy Friday to you. Let's share this room out. I'm kicking in the doors for Glenn Lundy. He'll be here at 5:30. And today, as you can see from the topic, the deeper the roots, the higher the summit. Woo! Do I love that topic today? So we want to share the room out in the hallways, as I mentioned. And on the left side, you'll see a chat, and we can write on the chat. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Health. Mindy, Christina, Howard, woo-doo-woo, Mary Kim, Debbie Dallin, who just came into this space. So Breakfast with Champions, when you come here, guys, we're going to motivate, inspire you, and educate you. That's where all the greatness starts here. I love this app right here. This is where relationships are built. This is how you grow your business. And today's topic, the deeper the roots. Guess what, guys? Monday was my birthday. And I feel really good. I turned 50 years old. And as I was preparing for today's room, I was like, what can I do? I decided to do a little decade in review of my life to kind of make life easier for those of you here. And I said, who wants to have a fulfilled life? Everyone does, right? A fulfilled life feels amazing. You feel good. You feel light. So what I've decided to do today, break down my life into decades. And it's going to be 5 tips that I'm going to give you guys of what I've learned throughout my life. All right, it looks like we're at 23 shares. I would love to get that up to about 50. It looks like there's 81 of us in today. Yes, you guys are rocking and rolling on this Friday morning. I love it, love it, love it. So how to have a fulfilled life really ties into the topic for the day, because you have to have deep roots, right? If you think about those big, huge, beautiful trees, they have these big roots, right? It's funny, back in the day, I lived on a street called Maple Avenue, and I didn't realize it until years later. The sidewalk was bumped up because the roots just kept growing and growing, and you want to have deep roots. And when I think of roots, I think of foundation, I think of core, I think of relationships, I think of all that wonderful stuff. So the first tip I want to give you, I want to write down this, I learned in the first decade of life. I want everyone right now to think of your very first memory in your life. What was that? And they say your first memory is something that either hurts you, it scares you, it excites you. And for me, I must have been about 3 or 4 years old. And my first memory, I guess I was in preschool, because you're tiny, and I was outside and it was really, really hot. And we had this sprinkler. And I looked at my arms and I was cold, and I could see the hairs lifting up off of my arms. And that's my very first memory. I remember seeing the sun rays. If you have a first memory that you have, put that in the chat. And the reason why I put this here is because that was back in the 70s, guys. If we have any 70s babies in the building, can you put some stars in the chat? Because wasn't the 70s amazing? For me, I loved those Bruce Lee movies back in the day. My parents had a record store, and I would play all the music in the world. I'm looking in the back. Let's see. Have you subscribed? You hear Christina there? Let's have any memories. I would love see anyone back there. I'm the only 70s baby in the building. Is that what you're telling me? All righty. So that is my tip number 1, is think of the memories that you have and cherish them. Make every moment that you live an experience. And I make it an experience so it's something that's going to last you forever. And I've learned that so much. I see someone here said they're a 75 baby. I love it. I'm a 70 baby, but not a good memory. Okay, that's all right. All righty. So that's what I got in my first decade, just happiness and love. So in my second decade, that was when I was 10 to 20 years old. So think about that decade of your life, guys. You were probably in high school, elementary school, that stuff. This is where you tend to dream really big, right? And I always say, think big. On mic, I'm gonna think. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Think big times 10. It doesn't cost you anything extra, so why not do it? And isn't that what we do as kids? Glenn had a young lady on here the other day, and he said, what's something you want to teach the parents? And she said, stop asking kids, what do they want to be when they grow up? And ask them, what do they want to be now? Oh my gosh, I love that right there. Okay, when I was a kid, I wanted to do everything from 10 to 20. That was I remember my high school days biggest because I went to a performing arts school. If you've ever seen Fame, I'm gonna live forever. Okay, I could not sing. I was not a vocal major. I played the flute. I was a really good flute player, but I didn't like it. I wanted to be an acting major. That was the thing I wanted. So I hung out with the actors. And then after high school, I went to college, but then I wanted that life, guys. So then I went to New York City. And we here love New York. Woo, woo. And I started dancing. I danced for a rap group, a Black Sheep, went on Apollo commercial. I did it all. I was dreaming my life. So that's one thing that you can do to have a fulfilled life is dream super, super big. Don't be afraid of it. Let me see. Do I have it? I remember Annette said she remembers the summer of 77 when Elvis passed. Oh my. I remember watching the news and film, loved Fame. Yes. I don't quite remember Elvis passing. My grandmother was an Elvis fan. I wasn't really an Elvis fan, but yes, I'm sure that was very, very horrible. Thank you so much for saying that. Good morning, Yolanda. Anyone else have any amazing memories watching The Wizard of Oz? Remember those old TVs, guys? Those really huge, big box TVs? Yes, I think the 70s were the best decade. I just love it, love it. I see some 67-year-olds. Yes, William, love it. Doesn't this feel good, guys? Getting deep into your roots, your foundation. And sometimes we forget where we came from. We forget, I'm not going to say our ancestors, but our grandparents, our grandmothers, that's really important. Let's go to that third decade of my life. Are you ready for it? For my 20s and 30s. Anyone here have some great 20s and 30s? Woo, woo! That's when I had my daughter. My life really didn't go how I had it planned, but you give me some lemons, I'm turning it into lemonade, no matter what it is. So this was an amazing time for my life. And for me, all I can think of is work, work, hustle, hustle. It was like school work, school work, school work. I was out there just grinding, grinding. Why? Because I had one major goal in my life. And that was to be an amazing mom. I was a single mom, so I had to push a little bit harder, guys. I was always working, always pushing through, making sure my kids were a part of everything. And for me, what I want to share with you is even though you're working really hard, make sure it's something you enjoy. Some of the jobs I loved, some of them I didn't. I remember many times I'd bring my kids to work with me. Everyone knew them, but that's the joy of life, right? Loving the grind. And the grind is what I remember. So that is my tip for the third decade, guys, is to work really, really hard. If you want to have a fulfilling life, work hard. Think about it. When you go to the gym, if you just kind of walk around, it's okay. And I'm saying this because I did it last night. I went to teach a class and I was like, okay, class is over. And I just kind of sat there and I said, you know what, Tina? The Stairmaster is right there. So I got on the Stairmaster. And the last time I was on the Stairmaster was for COVID. And if you've ever been on the Stairmaster, Lord of mercy, it's a challenge. And I got on it for 7 minutes and my heart was like, boom, 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 boom. And when I got off, I was like, I felt amazing. While I was doing it, it was challenging. I'm even going to say it was hard. But when I finished, it felt amazing. So work hard, hustle, grind, and it's going to pay off so much in the end. He says neon workout outfits and headbands. Don't forget the warmers, the leg warmers. Love it. What about those big puffy white socks that Paula Abdul used to do? And that's when music videos were really good back in the day, right? You couldn't tell me nothing. I was Janet Jackson hitting those moves, Paula Abdul doing the tap dancing. I still love tap dancing to this day. All righty. Happy New Health Day, champions. I guess today is Health Day, guys. I love that coming from health. Thank you for sharing that. All right, guys, we're moving along. We're moving along to my fourth decade, which was my 30s to 40s. And to be honest with you, as I was writing today, just like thinking, went fast. And partially, I couldn't even remember what I went through. But the one thing I remembered, I was still hustling hard. I was still grinding, but I dug back into that child life of mine and did what I loved from a child, which was acting and modeling. So I opened a modeling studio. My daughter worked it with me. We were on Toddlers and Tiaras. We did fashion shows. We did plays. We did everything. But the one thing that I remember most was transforming children's lives. So I originally started my entrepreneurship with children. My goal was to find their special gift because I believe everyone, especially children, have gifts. And sometimes parents will say, go to school, do this. I want you to do that. I never did that with my kids. I just kind of, they kind of saw what I did. And with the modeling company, my goal was to look into each child and see what their gift was, what they loved. And I'm so proud to say, guys, looking at some of the kids, they went on commercials, they've done various things in their lives. So that was my 30s and 40s, just grinding, photography, makeup, New York Fashion Week, you name it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Now, we're in the last decade, the 40s to 50s. Run DMC, hey, walk this way. I'm sorry, guys, I'm reading the chats here. You got to get into this Clubhouse. If you're not following Breakfast with Champions on Clubhouse, you are missing out, guys. We have to share. Take a little commercial break right here. You don't mind? So we can all go down to the bottom and change that number from the 30s so we get up to the 50s because I just turned 50, guys. Do you want to celebrate with me? At the top, we've changed the link. I am still on YouTube, but we're turning the conversation a little bit because this is where it gets serious. This is where I personally started truly digging into my roots. And I didn't realize it that, yes, in my 30s and 40s, I was digging to help other people, but that's what my whole life has been about. Helping others, changing lives. And I realized for me, it's because it made me feel better. So the way we do that on Clubhouse is by sharing the room. Hi there, Bella. Bella, also known as Linda, is loving the energy on YouTube. Thank you, Bella, with the cool shirt. And not only do you want to share the room, guys, I'm not guys, champions. My daughter was listening to me. She says, Mom, you said guys a lot. See, change it up. So we are all champions, right? We are all stars. So if you feel that you are a champion, I want you to click that button right there and share it. Not only do I want you to share it in the hallways, but I want you to invite some people so they know what's going on. Glenn is going to come through in about 20 minutes, and he's going to come with the fire. I got to see him again in Nashville a couple of weeks ago. And let me tell you, him and Ramon just threw the fire when they came through. It was something different about them. Now, looking at them, I was like, okay, they're the same. When they spoke, it was super deep, kind of like today's topic, deeper the roots. So we're at 39 shares. Thank you, everyone who has shared the room. Again, also, follow the person above you, below you, to the right, to the left, because that's how you find out what's going on in these Clubhouse streets. Okay, the final decade, in my 40s to 50s. I can't believe I'm 50, guys. It's just amazing. So in this last decade of my life, I have to be totally honest with you, the past 6 years have been a little bit challenging. So if you know my story, it's a whole lot of stories, but I just want to take you back really quick to 2016, which was the best and worst year of my life. I say it was the best year because we were having done 2 successful sneaker stores. My daughter was a Nick City dancer. I was teaching classes. We were just thriving. Boom, boom. I was working at New York Sports Club and so many gyms. Also, guys, I met the man of my dreams, and I knew one day I was going to marry him. So in my mind, everything was great. And then, boom, one Friday night, I got a phone call from my daughter. And she's screaming on the phone, Mommy, get to Rahway now. Something happened to Molly. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking, this is nothing, because something was always happening to my son. He broke his nose. He was thrown out of a car in a car accident. He lost his eyesight in one of his eyes. That's just to name a few of the things that happened to him. So in my mind, everything is fine. So I get in my car and I'm driving to Rahway. And I call his dad. I don't even know why I called his dad, because he never really did much. But I called his dad and I said, call the hospitals, call the police stations, nothing. So I'm still driving there. Now I'm starting to worry, because at this point, it felt different. It didn't feel like a normal Molly mess up, you know? And I'm thinking one of the was in Atlantic City. There I'm going, guys, with those memories, right? I don't know about you, but I love experiences and memories. Now, my son, when he was 18, he got a fake ID from someone and went to Atlantic City. And when he was there, he got in trouble and was in trouble for ID. And the ID that he had from someone was someone who had a record. And he ended up in jail because he had someone else's ID. So pretty much I had to go there and show his real ID. The point of this story is he always went through something. So in my mind, it's everything's going to be fine this time. But like I said, there was something different in my heart. So I'm driving to Rahway. And then I called the mayor, who was a friend of mine. And I'm like, where is my son? And he said, where are you? And I looked up out the window and I saw Menlo Park Mall. And as I think about it, I can feel the coldness. It was 23 degrees. It was freezing outside. And I get to the police station and no one's telling me anything. So I leave the police station and I drive down the street where the shop is and I see all of this yellow caution tape. And the street is lit up like 42nd Street with lights everywhere, people everywhere. And then I just start running down the street. I'm ripping the yellow caution tape and I see the shop and I start pulling the door. And then 2 police officers grab me and I look at them and I'm like, where is my son? And nobody would tell me anything. So I'm just like, okay. I see people all over the place. And then I finally stopped these 2 police officers. It was a woman and it was a man. And I looked at him in his eyes and I said, where is my son? And he said, I'm sorry, miss, your son is dead. And at that moment in time, I knew my life would never be the same again. But another thing I realized at that time, I had to get it together. Yes, I cried. Yes, I sobbed. But at that moment, I was so strong for so many people, my daughter, all of his friends, everyone that was there. And from that moment in time, 2016, which was most of my last decade, I've been giving back. I've been pouring back. I was listening to Marvin this morning in the 4 o'clock room, amazing. And he was saying how you have to give from the saucer. You know how you have a cup? Like I have my beautiful 8 a.m. cup of motivation right here. I've got my cup. I got to get a saucer, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. That's why you have to have deep roots, because when you have those deep roots, it makes it easier to pull. And I'm a mind and body transformation coach. And I do this from things I learned, the experiences I've gone through to teach and train women how to overcome all the tragedies, all the traumas, and I like to say traumatides of their life. That's what I learned in my last decade, was to give back. And when you give back, it makes you feel so good, which leads me to that link at the top, lionhearted app. Oh my gosh. Lionhearted.app. This is an app a very good friend of mine made to support me on my mission. So at the beginning of the year, I knew my birthday was coming. I'm like, what am I going to do? I had no idea. I didn't want a big booyah party because I was like, that's going to go towards people. I didn't want to travel because I'm like, well, Tina, you travel all the time. So I decided to give back, right? So I wanted to honor my son. I wanted his life to be something. But I decided to donate 100 pairs of sneakers. And let me tell you guys, as TM says, you know I got to bring TM up, right? Think big times 10, but your dreams and your goals should be so big, you cannot do them alone. And I'm happy to say TM has supported me. And then I had Shelly come through who boosted me to get the sneakers up to 300 because there's over 200 kids in the school. And then when I spoke with the school in Nigeria, it's called the Wynina School. And if you click the link at the top, it has all the information. And before I even continue, I just want to thank each and every one of you who have supported by donating sneakers. I'm happy to say we have all the sneakers. Woo, woo, woo. And now we're on our second leg, which is pretty much adding to that. I decided to make bookmarks. If you're watching me, I have a picture of my son here, and I put together the Molly Creed, which has all the sayings that he said to inspire his friends, to inspire his business owners. Not only are we going to be giving them metal bookmarks, but I'm also going to be giving them a little bag. Why? Because I believe they're going to love that. It's going to feel good. So if you've donated, great. If not, this could be a birthday wish for me. I don't care if it's $5, $2. Donate to make this dream come true. Now, listen, guys, it gets even bigger. If this is in the room right now, looking for Melissa. She may not be here. This is someone that TM introduced me to. And again, this is helping me think even bigger. Because at first I was just thinking, you know, just send them there and that's that. And I'm not saying I wasn't thinking, I thought it was that simple. And she had me realize, well, Tina, it's not that simple. I realized after I got all the logistics and everything, the cost to ship the sneakers is the same as me actually taking them there. So again, transformation, changing. When you have dreams, when you have goals, things kind of. So now I've decided to take the sneakers to Nigeria myself so I can give the gifts to the children. My daughter and I are on that second leg where we actually have the tickets, and we're going to Nigeria the first week of May. But then Melissa, who is a You Think Grow Your Business Global, she says, well, Tina, why don't you, she has business out there and she has a lot of connections. So she's working with me. I don't know if she's in here, to make this an experience for others who may want to come as well. Why? To transform the world, because we all have dreams, we have goals, right? And You Think Tank, I don't see her in here. If you're in here, Melissa, unmic. If she is, great. If not, can I share with you guys how amazing it feels to be able to give back? Those are my 5 tips to living a fulfilled life. And I'm just going to recap them right here. I'm going to check the chat first before I recap, because I want to hear from you. Why do I want to hear from you? Because it makes me feel good. And when you share your story, it shares everybody. Hello, Coach Bia. All righty. So tip number 1, memories. What's your first memory in life? Cherish all the moments in your life and make them experiences. Second tip I want to give you guys: never give up on your dreams. Dreams, super big. Dream like a child. All right. Kids don't. They just want to. I want to be Superman. I want to be a lion. I want to be a tiger. And you can do that. Just pretend you're a lion and a tiger. Decade number 3: work hard, hustle. When I think of hustle, work quickly, fast, and with purpose. Know what you want to do. Make a plan and then make it happen. Number 4: be super present in what you're doing and love what you're doing. That's what I learned in my 30s and 40s, because I realized it's gone. It's like, what did I do again? So if I could turn back time to live a more fulfilled life, guys, is be present in that moment. And then lastly, give back. When you give back, it makes you feel good. Each one, reach one to teach one. I would love to hear from anyone if they would like to share their thoughts on today's topic. Just a great morning to you. Hey, now, good to see you, Mamacita. Did anything I say resonate with any of you guys? If so, unmic, let me hear you. Maybe it didn't resonate with anyone. I see Linnell. Hey there, girl.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for sharing your story about your son. As a mom, my heart just goes out to you, because I have 3 of my own, and just to know that he was fulfilling his purpose when he passed away, but also, having a legacy and keeping his memory alive. I just want to commend you for that, because I know it's not easy to talk about it, but at the same time, it's giving so much inspiration to people. So I just appreciate you on that this morning. And definitely wanted to say congratulations on your sneaker drive being successful. And then last but not least, thank you for the tips, because as you were speaking, I was thinking of my tips of what do I remember from my younger years, and the thing that dropped in my head was the Michael Jackson Thriller album. That was one of the memories that I had. So, just going down memory lane, it was a great exercise this morning. I'm good. I had to get myself out. Love you much, girl.
Hey, okay. Am I the only one whose family, when it came time for Thriller, like everyone sat in front of the TV? You made me think about that. We had cable. It was like a huge thing. That was a huge memory. Thank you for sharing that. Kimberly says, memories, dreams, work hard and hustle, be super present, and love what you do. 5, give back. Yes, thank you for that recap. It was the best and worst year. Ha. Anyone else want to share their thoughts? On mic.
Tina, really quick, I wanted to underline something you said, because I don't want others to miss it. That was a big aha. You said it was the best and worst year. Like, I think people think, like, when something really bad happens, it's just going to be an all downhill year. But it's typically at times when you're celebrating and having, amazing success. And I'm just so grateful. I just didn't want people to miss what you said. Like, it was the best your son was doing something amazing. And I'm so grateful that you are giving us a chance to help fulfill the dream that he had as well. So thank you for that. That was just really big. I had to underline that. Thank you.
That's because you're amazing. And something I was thinking as well is all the traumedies I've had in my life, and I'm sure we've all had some type of traumedy. When I say traumedy, I mean trauma or tragedy. Right before it, something really, for me, something really good was happening. And like you said, before this health, let me tell you, it was like the three of us, I'm not going to say we were competing, but we were probably competing to see who could do the most. And my son, he was always winning, and he'd say, oh, I beat you guys. Like, I remember he did a TV show with Jay-Z, and he like did all these other things. And we're like, how did he do this? So thank you for that. You know, you have to have those good times to appreciate the bad times. Anyone else want to share their thoughts on today's topic? I would love to hear from you.
This is Debbie, and I absolutely loved your trip down memory lane. I too am a 70s baby, so I get it. And you left out the big hair and the different, what was his name, Richard Simmons. I remember Mom watching a lot of Richard Simmons. I don't think she really exercised with him, but she just watched him, and I think she was looking for the motivation. But thank you so much for this morning.
I love that. And I agree with you with that motivation. You know, I always tell people when it comes to working out, not to say you don't have to work out, but start out by just putting on the clothes. And someone wrote in the chat, the leg warmers, the headbands, the neon colors, all that wonderful stuff. But anyone else tap in? Oh, and we have a link at the top there. That's if anyone would like to join in on the trip. It's in May for Nigeria. You are all welcome. Just tap in there if you want more information. Anyone else have any tips, thoughts?
You brought something really great to the table. Thank you so much, by the way. And legacy is totally my lane. But what you brought to the table, you're talking about decades, right? Well, I also have a theory, which I break it up a little bit smaller, and I call it quarters of our. I believe we have 4 quarters. You know, the first 25 to 50, then on and on, up to 100. And I think of Colonel Sanders. You're not too old, and I'm not saying you're old, Pete. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, you said this in your other half, right? Or closer to that other quarter. And my point is this: is that you're not too old. Just be mindful that you most likely only have those four quarters. But again, you're not too old, because look at KFC. It's always inspiring to hear stories like that, and you just brought that to mind, and I wanted to share it. Back to you, and God bless.
Yes, I love it. It makes me get back to memories with your children. You guys know how Glenn is doing 6 weeks of work and 1 week off. Think about your summers with your children. If you have children, how many summers do you have left with them? Because when they turn 18, they're gone. So each year, each moment of your life, you want to capture it. Guys, we're at 46 shares. We're getting close to the top of this segment, and on us over 50. Anyone else want to share on the topic? What did you take away?
I would love to. Stars Tina, Mary Kim. Good morning, champions. Tina, you know how I feel about what you're doing and honoring your son and his legacy, letting his legacy live on. And I share this with you, but the subject, the deeper the roots, the higher the summit. And I've told you this before, and on your birthday, the reason why your son was so into his purpose, living his dreams, and being just nothing was impossible to him, is because he was watching you live out your life and your dreams, and he's been watching you. So his roots were super deep. And the higher the summit is what you've been doing for the last year, for the last 6 years, of honoring your son, sharing with other people your story, and just now giving back to that school with 300 pairs of shoes with your son's legacy and honoring him. And that is how we honor and live out our loved ones when they're no longer here on earth. But like I shared with you, he is always with you. And so I'm sure he's smiling big.
We love you, Mary Kim. I think we have time for one more share before Glenn comes through. If anyone wants to unmic, say your name. Otherwise, I want to thank every single one of you for coming through this morning. Glenn's going to be rolling through here with the energy. And as she said, the deeper the roots, the higher the summit. And to have great things happen in the world, we have to work as a team. You guys hear me all the time. Your vibe is your tribe. Who's a part of your tribe? Who are you linking arms with? Are you linking arms with people? And are you pulling people up? The monkey effect. I spoke about this a while ago. The monkey effect is reaching down and pulling something up. Another one of the games back in the day. I wonder if they still have that game right there. But in 30 seconds, Glenn's coming through. So I want you all to unmic, make some noise. Let's give it up for Glenn. Let's share this room. Let's have some fun. Feeling good? Feeling good? Unmic for me, crew. Woo! Woo! Good morning, Glenn.